All right, let's do this. Bing, 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 bing. Okay. Do a quick stop. And wanted to talk about I was having a strange conversation and somebody was talking about like public speaking is how scary it is and how I forgot that, well, I don't even know if I even knew that it was a phobia in any way, shape, or form, but yeah, people are like literally like more scared of speaking in public than spiders and wide open areas, closed spaces, and snakes, clowns, and all the other phobias that exist. I think it's because I really just don't understand it. Alright, be right back. Alrighty. Alrighty. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, public speaking. Phobias are something that I actually don't really understand. I'm trying to understand it. I don't know what paralyzing fear is. And that might sound great, but I go to the extreme. It's me. Of course I go to the extreme. I don't use the actual, things that you should be scared of to give me warnings. I have to actually, it's weird because I have to look at other people. This is why other people in my life are good. To know that this is something to be concerned about. I think I react stronger when somebody disagrees with me or somebody just says something completely crazy. Actually, no, I definitely when somebody says something completely freaking insane. But when somebody disagrees with me, I think I have a stronger reaction. You know, and even to a degree, frustration. Because I already know that I'm doing it again and, you know, presenting something that why didn't everybody think of this stuff? And to me, it's like common. It's like normal. So, but yeah, I don't have stage fright. I don't have any phobia whatsoever. I used to say I'm phobophobic. I'm afraid to be afraid, but that would mean that I would have the fear, and I would be, you know, worried about, you know, paralyzed to show it, if that makes sense. And I don't have that. I just don't have it. Like I said, it's not a gift or a curse, but it's definitely like different. Because if we're about to fall, or if I'm on the edge of a cliff, or, you know, if there's a lion or a bear, I have to, like, engage my flight mechanism. I have to get the adrenaline pumping. To basically boogaloo. I think it's like I'm like the anti-Hulk. I mean, yeah, I get angry. I get angry. I get frustrated. I get all that stuff. But yes, but it's that. But it's like my body doesn't instinctively work itself up when I'm angry. I have to. I literally have to engage it. I have to. Do some stretches. Okay, I'm angry now. Let's go. And I think it's also, you know, maybe emotionally awkward. Because you're not supposed to really think about emotions. Emotions are supposed to happen. I think it's one of the reasons why I can't give his name yet. But my professor for theater appreciation Cause that's a note that he sings. And I just whatever. I think with the exception of like the ums and the other things when I'm thinking that I put in, any type of reaction like that I put in, I've actually thought that through. Except for the So, stand-up. I think it's one of the reasons why people think stand-up is one of these areas that has the most fear. Like I said, I think speaking in public is like number one. Like a fear of death is like number two. I think he gives me a really good poker face, maybe. Because I don't know to care that I have like two pairs when I'm playing poker. I don't know to care. I have to care. And when you're doing the whole poker face thing, I don't have it. My cards are my cards. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Type of thing. I don't know how I think about it. I definitely think that it's emotionally stunted me, because if I took the Myers-Briggs test, you see, this is what a thinker would do. A thinker would see which ones were the emotional. I would think it through. I could be any of the Myers. That's one of the reasons why for the Myers-Briggs it doesn't really work for me, because I could be whatever. If I need to be an extrovert, I'm an extrovert. If I need to be an introvert, I'm an introvert. I'm trying to think. It's the first thing is introvert extrovert, right? So it's, I think the last time I took the test I was an INFP. Most people when they meet me or something like that, they think that I'm an extrovert. Streamers. Most streamers are extroverts. as much as they think that they're shy and stuff like that, they do this stuff. Most streamers are extroverts. It's almost an extroverted exercise. But maybe I am an extrovert. I don't know. We all have a little bit of everything in us anyway, no matter what. That's one reason why the Myers-Briggs test is kind of like, I would think that knowing a person, seeing how they react and stuff like that. This is the judger. Notice that that's not one of my things. But knowing a person, that would be, they would be able to pretty much choose what you are on the Myers-Briggs. But that's the person that you show, as opposed to the person you are. So it's, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I was thinking, I think it was the last, yesterday's morning commute, when I had like nothing, brain went blank. Brain went brr, 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 brr. I realize, like, when I tell jokes and stuff like that, and I do, I have actually said my entire stand-up routine, and I bombed with it, and I've gotten laughs with it. The one thing about bombing, or basically dying on stage, that happens with me. I'm going to use myself as an example because I've bombed a lot. I talk about this crazy birthday thing that I did, but I probably, with the exception of the karaoke, I pretty much bombed the entire, all the open mic stand-ups. Pretty much bombed it. And this is me going in with an audience ready to laugh. That's the great thing about doing stand-up. You already have a built-in audience that's there, mostly drunk, mostly susceptible to, especially juvenile freaking humor. I don't see much of a difference between when people talk about the great comedians who do stand up. I'll even use Robin Williams because he's considered one of the greatest, or George Carlin is considered one of the greatest. I personally don't see much of a difference between those stand-up comedians and a person who's never done stand-up before in their life. And it's their first time. The name recognition, I think, definitely helps get the laughter. But, the goals are the same, and, pretty much the jokes are the same too. And I know that a lot of people talk about like stealing jokes and stuff like that. You know, it's all pretty much the same shit. Anything can be funny. There is no line. You know, people talk about the line crossed and stuff like that. What's his name? Michael Richards. You know, crossed the line because he said the N-word. Notice I didn't say it. But you know, there is no line. As far as white people saying the N-word, Eminem can say the N-word. And has. It's funny when I talk about me bombing, you know, getting a couple of chuckles and bombing. There's not much difference between that and having everybody, you know, laughing their heads off. I find that if you follow somebody moderately funny, basically warmed up the audience, they're already ready to laugh. All you have to do is either be at that level or go a little bit above. And then, of course, if you follow up somebody who just bombed themselves, you got your work cut out for you. You become the warm-up for the next person. The one thing you don't want to be is you don't want to be where the audience is just basically just laughing their head off, and then all of a sudden you give a mediocre, you have to be at their level. So like if I followed like George Carlin or something like that in stand-up, I don't think I would succeed because I don't have his name to basically carry at that level. But as far as the jokes, you know, I personally don't see any difference. And you definitely know that what I think is funny is not what most people. I'm a freaking weirdo. I don't think most people understand my humor. It's probably one of the reasons why I adore comedians like Andy Kaufman more than pretty much any other. And there's a bunch of them like Andy Kaufman out there. So. Some people actually use Andy Kaufman-esque. You know, I'm not even. It's probably not even his. You know, I don't even know if I should give him the credit for it or not. Because I don't even know if it's his way of doing stand-up. I like to think that one of the reasons why I adore him so much is because he is unique. And he puts his own spin on the whole thing, and I think that it's one of those things that when you get what he's doing, I think it's beyond funny. It's beyond funny. And then if you can be the butt of his joke, or if you get fooled by him, I think it takes it to another level. I don't know a single person that doesn't think that whether they were able to figure it out or not. I'll use two movies, for example. The Sixth Sense and The Usual Suspects. I don't know a single person that doesn't think that, the setup and, the way that they did those things. But you have to think of it, that it's like a joke. The setup's there, and, there's the payoff. Well, setup, build up, payoff. And one of the things that Andy Kaufman was able to do that most comedians can't do is stay funny while doing it, but sustain that before the payoff. And sometimes he doesn't do payoff. I mean, I think he told David Letterman, he doesn't tell jokes. Really doesn't do the practical slapstick humor, but he does, and he really doesn't tell jokes, but he tells jokes. He doesn't do slapstick humor, but he does slapstick humor. He doesn't do insult comedy, yet he basically is insulting the audience until they can get it, and once they get it and they can realize that being the butt of the joke is what makes it hysterical, and then they're no longer the butt of the joke. They're a part of the joke, and that's it's one of those payoffs that it can happen long after the show is over. He is one of the few comedians that, when I talk about them, I talk about the sustainability. And has he gone too far? I mean, most people would say yes, but he was able to sustain it, and I admire that. When I started streaming, one of the things that I want to do or wanted to do after the birthday, after those few things and stuff like that, was I wanted to invite anybody watching anything that I create at any time. I always wanted to be that, and to say that you're in on the joke. sleep for an hour, I don't even recommend it. And I use that one all the time because, like, you know, sifting through morning commutes. Like if you just had, you hit the playlist and you just hit the playlist going. You know, the first one's from 1 to 400, and then this one is, you know, what do I have? I have almost, you know, 200, you know, 250 videos, each a half hour long. So it's 125 hours, 130 hours of these things. Like, I can't imagine somebody sifting through, especially like how many times like I've gone through and I didn't realize the cord got in the way. Wonder how long that's been there. See if that happens. The camera's right there. Yeah, you can do that. I forgot what I was saying because I looked over at the camera. But yeah, you know, how many times take a risk and leave my window open. I might have to cut it abruptly, so as always, cool beans in the comments below, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a fantastic time doing it. Got that out of the way just in case I have to like cut this off abruptly. But back to comedy. Eventually, these will get to the point where it's you know, you see the jokes inside. Like I said, I've done my entire stand-up routine, I think twice. I think about it. In these morning commutes, and I just kind of subtly put those jokes in there. Bombing on stage is one of the things that I fall back on when I bomb. It's how I kind of like pull myself out of it. But yeah, you know, I do joke all the time. Like, I mean, here I am. I have an already ready audience. Nobody goes to the comedy club not to laugh. Everybody goes to laugh. You don't go to a comedy club going, I'm gonna be mad. Just be mad, bro. This is one of those if I laugh I lose challenges, isn't it? No, you go there to drink, you freaking, you know, laugh at something, you know, absurd, stupid, surreal. Something that hits the funny bone. funny to the bone. I don't know, maybe something like that. But yeah. Whichever. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I really do. I do this for you. I'm an emotionally stunted introvert. That is trying to learn how to be a people pleaser. And failing. I'm failing at it. That's okay. It's alright. Thank you for watching. And I will talk to you tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully tomorrow. Alright? See you then.